the bathroom because of heroin usage.
Yes, it's really though. It's not even the homeless people. It's the junkies are the reason there's now a code at the bathrooms at Starbucks and Barnes and Nobles too.
Yeah,
you used to be able to go in and just drop a deuce when the spirit moved you, but so many people are in there like with their works fixing up and making it a whole thing where you got to go. It's
and
humiliating.
Reading fucking Sports Illustrated or something. Yeah.
And they know what you're doing in there. If you go to take a shit, they know. Like you got your Kindle under your arm and you're like, hey, what's the code to the bathroom? Like, hey, I just bought the Nixon biography by Richard Reeves. Could I get the code to the bathroom? You come out later. You just got reelected.
You're going to be in there for a while.
Yeah.
No, yeah. You got up to the Watergate years or whatever.
I like when...
You lost 15 pounds in that bathroom.
Sometimes, if you're lucky. Yeah. I like when the guy at Starbucks says, and let me get extra foam. I'm like, wow, extra foam. The guy said it in front of me. This happened to me last weekend at the Brea Improv. And I thought to myself, all I could think of was George Carlin. Extra foam? You're buying foam? Fuck you, you fucking suck. Like he's buying fucking foam, an extra cup of foam. And then I got obsessed with like, what is this guy doing with this foam? And all I could picture was this guy seatbelting his foam into the passenger seat of his car and then dipping his finger in it and then just sucking on it the whole drive in traffic like a little milky penis.
See, I thought you were going to go a different route. Like, he drove it back to, like, a fucking foam farm where there were just cups of Starbucks. Like, he nurtures them and treats them like children or whatever.
No, that would make him altruistic and kind. He's obviously a douchebag. Right, yeah. If he wants it at 120 degrees, he's a psychopath. He doesn't care about
the fucking foam. Yeah, he's a foam.
And give me extra. I need extra foam. I'm a very fancy man. I'm a very, very fancy man. So that's what was on my mind recently, some topics.
How hard is it to hold back at Starbucks while these people are...
Not at all, because the second you open your mouth, everybody goes, hey, I'm writing a screenplay here. You're an actor and a comedian, and I'm at Starbucks because apparently I get writer's block in my home, and there's no Wi-Fi anywhere where I live, so I go to Starbucks to write the great American novel.
Which is where, of course, I mean, everyone knows Battleship Potemkin was written at a fucking coffee bean, so...
It's a very nice reference, my friend.
Thank you, I tried.
And Agata Davida was written at Starbucks. No, I don't understand why everyone, like, how are you not aware of that? You're filling the stereotype to the hilt when you go to Starbucks and fire up the laptop. And I see, like, I don't know what you're writing, but I see that it's in that script format.
Screenplay format, always.
Screenplay format.
They're proud of it, though. They're showing it to everyone else. Or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where I got the thing is where I live in Hollywood, there's a lot of, like, young, aspiring actors in my building. So if you walk by the pool at any given time, there'll be 20 people leafing through fucking screenplays and sides, like, very obviously trying to show you the cover and shit like that.
Ugh.
People like to show off, man, you know?
You know what you do is next time you see a guy... Huh?
It's an important town. People got to let you know what they're doing.
So important. That's what's great about living on the West Side is that everyone that has doing screenplays or reading scripts at, like, Baskin Robbins... It's like Rita Wilson. She's sitting there actually reading a script. And in Hollywood in the Valley, everyone's doing this dog and pony show like, look what I'm doing. But the closer you get to the ocean, the more you're like, is that fucking Martin Short reading a script over there but at the beach? Yes, it is.
It actually turns real once you get further east or west.
This is what you do. As soon as you pass Cloverfield, it is on.
Not totally.
Here's the thing. Next time you're at Starbucks and a guy has his laptop open or girl has her laptop open and she's making a script, just as you get your order and as you're walking out, just under your breath go, so derivative. And then just then look back and say, charge that to the game.
Yeah.
You can charge that to the game,
right there. Put your fucking
name
on it.
Put your name on it. So, we talked a lot about me getting Saturday Night Live with the great Barry Katz, and Bert and I spoke a lot about other things, and Tom Segura. And you guys have hashtagged more stories, and you really want to know about how I got Jerry Maguire. When I did Jerry Maguire, when I auditioned for it, I was on the Jeff Foxworthy show, and that was right after Saturday Night Live. And it's ironic because I remember once we were all dicking around, and by that I mean like we weren't taking it seriously on Saturday Night Live, and Lorne Michaels had us all into his office, and he said, can we please take it more seriously? People aren't going to stop you in the street to tell you bad things. This is obviously before message boards, so people would stop you and go, hey, man, love you on the show. And we're all riding high.
No one wants to get hit in the fucking street. Yeah,
no, exactly.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
No one puts their name on it in person.
Exactly.
They go, you're great. Like when you're in the elevator, they're like, oh, what's up? And as soon as you leave the elevator, they're like, asshole. Who did he think he was? He's acting like he's 5'11". He's obviously 5'10".
But now with the advent of fucking smartphones, they can tweet that the second you step out the elevator and take a picture of you.
Those are the only people with free speech, are people that comment on message boards. They can drop N-bombs and they can say gay slurs, and there's no accountability whatsoever. So we were getting yelled at by Lorne Michaels for being cavalier and a devil-may-care attitude.
Little willy-nilly, as Colin Quinn would say. Devil, we didn't give a care.
And I remember Lorne Michaels, we're all sitting on his floor, and I thought, this is like a crazy thing where when you have a meeting and make people sit on the fucking floor like preschool, like children, like, all right, everyone get in my office now.
Were there no chairs available?
There was like a couch. No, there was 2 chairs, and like Jim Downey, the head writer, would get in one, and like Phil Hartman would get in one, and then in the back there'd be like a couple people, like there's room for like 3 people, and everyone else was just sitting on the floor.
19 people would just sit Indian style.
Yeah, or standing against the wall like a firing squad, and trying to sneak peeks of the skating rink over your shoulder out the window. So Lorne goes, and, if you don't want to be here, and I have nothing against Lorne Michaels. Let's get that way out. A lot of people talk shit about the guy, and I said it in my book, Gasping for Airtime. Out of thousands of people that he looked at, he fucking picked me. And for the rest of my life, I'm down with Lorne. Whatever Lorne needs, I'm a phone call away, my man. I'll help you out, because you could have hired anyone, and you picked me instead. And I'm grateful. I fucked it up. Lorne didn't make me not know how to write a sketch and keep it good. I fucked all that up all by myself. He said, and I'll never forget this, Matt, he goes, and if you don't want to be here, there's the goddamn door, and that's the only thing keeping you from being the neighbor on a sitcom. And when he said that, I went, that would be the fucking greatest.
Yeah, like that's a fucking big gig.
Like I'm having panic attacks on Saturday Night Live, and you're telling me I could just walk in and complain about food? Because that's all you do on a sitcom is you walk in, you go, hey, who ate all my avocados? And then you walk out to thunderous applause. So fast forward 5 months, I'm the neighbor on the Jeff Foxworthy show. I'm his brother. And I just walk in, I scream shit. I have long pro wrestling hair. I was trying to grow my hair long to be cool, but my hair doesn't get cool when it gets long. It grows down, and right before it hits my shoulders, it curls back up towards my head. So I get sort of like a fro, but I'm only getting a fro below my ears. And the rest of it is just all over the place like Woodstock.
That's like my beard. I would love to do like a fucking Gandalf ZZ Top thing, but the Jew comes out real quick and the shit just starts curling like Rabbi Menachem Schneerson or something. You know what I mean?
But don't you think, and you say to yourself, well, I'll just ride it out, and eventually the weight will make my hair get long. Or my beard will go out so far.
It literally just shoots up in all directions.
So my thing with my hair was, I'll just wait it out, and eventually, that's what I was told by hairdressers.
Gravity was going to pull the hair down.
Curl. You can't just keep curling hair. But no, I look like a chia pet. I look like a pro wrestler. It was ridiculous. I look like I was in the Heart Foundation. So I'm on the Jeff Foxworthy show playing his brother Wayne, and I'm a screaming idiot, and I go in to audition for Jerry Maguire. I get the script. It's a Tom Cruise movie, and you don't think to yourself like, well, I could totally get this. Because you're just Wayne Foxworthy. You're just a guy. You're a ham and egger.
You're Wayne Foxworthy.
With all due respect to everybody involved. Like Jeff Foxworthy probably has a much better chance of getting this than I do. I read the script. It's awesome. I mean, it's Cameron Crowe and it's Jerry Maguire. And they wanted me to audition to play the quarterback, which got played by Jerry O'Connell.
O'Connell, right. Yeah.
Cush. And I had been spending a lot of time with my grandfather at the time, who was very sick. And he was at Scott White Hospital in Temple, Texas. So I was commuting back and forth to Texas. So I was surrounded by Southern people. I was opening for Anthony Clark. We talked about him, and I think he's from Virginia or North Carolina. He's got a Southern accent, man. And so I was always around these Southern people. But when I went in for my audition, I sounded like a fucking moron. I couldn't do a Southern accent. And this kid Cushman was supposed to be the greatest quarterback to come out of like Texas. So I'm like, hey, man, I'll either surf or skate. I sounded like Slim Pickens and, How to Love the Atomic Bomb. Yeah.
Condoms, check.
Prophylactics. Throw them touchdown. I'll either surf or ski. Doesn't matter to me at all. Hee-hoo. We signed an hour ago. You were in the lobby with that black fella. Hee-hoo.
And as I'm speaking, I'm going, why are you speaking like this? And I remember it's such a big movie, and you think, who's going to play the girl? Who's going to play the wide receiver? And I'm sitting in the waiting room for my Jerry Maguire audition, and I'm sitting next to Tone Loc. And
he was going out for fucking...
I'm looking, and he was pretty hot, but it was just the pendulum started to come back. He wasn't up Funky Cole Medina. The pendulum, it started coming back down to reality.
All right, yeah.
And I remember I'm sitting there, and he's like, "What's up, man?" And I remember looking at him going, There's no fucking way. You have to know you're not getting this. But here you are. And then I'm thinking to myself, how many times do people look at me and go, why? There's no way he's getting, like when I auditioned for Law and Order Los Angeles, apparently there was no way I was getting this. They hired Skeet Ulrich. 4 weeks later, he's fired and it's Alfred Molina. There's no room for a Jay Mohr in there when it's Terrence Howard and Alfred Molina, and Skeet Ulrich was the one they squeezed out. Like, thank God I didn't get the part. I would have been fired and I would have thought I stunk. And I'm looking at Tone Loc, and he's like a big guy. He's got a big gut. He's wearing sunglasses inside. He reeks of weed. And I'm like, really? You're the wide receiver fighting for a new contract
in a Cameron Crowe fucking movie.
Yeah, you're just burning guys on go routes. You're just, you know what? It's a double move route. You run about 11 yards, you turn around, you just pivot. You don't really turn around. You just turn your hips that little bit. You open the hips a little bit where the corner bites, and he takes that half step, and then you just blow past him. By that time, the safety help over the top is way too late because the safety came up on the play action to stop the run. That's what Tone Loc's going to do. And if you see the movie, they hired the right guy. He obviously, Cuba Gooding Jr. won the Oscar, and he's built like a brick shithouse, and all he did, it was like the movie.
He did like backflips and shit in that fucking movie.
Yeah, and all they did in between, he was with his trainer, and just every time there was downtime. In a movie, anytime I have a half hour, I take a nap. I'm a napping fool. I'm like a child, a baby. Like, just lay me down. I'm good. Right now, just talking about it, I'm getting sleepy.
Oh, I'm down, yeah.
Let's do it.
Pause it.
And this is a nap house. You've been inside.
Absolutely.
There's lots of places to bust out. So
like
this kid's doing bench presses. He's doing dips. He's jumping rope. And Tom Cruise is jumping rope on the set. Everybody was in shape but me. I didn't care. I was an alcoholic. So I go into audition for Cush, and I absolutely slobber all over myself, and I just take a giant shit in Gail Levin's office. She was the casting director, and they go, "Okay, thanks for coming in." And I'm like, "Oh my God!" Like I'm walking out of show business through that door. Like how Lorne said, right through that door, you could be the third lead on a sitcom. They're saying, right through that door, don't come back.
You can work at fucking Best Buy on La Brea.
We gave you a shot. Really, half decaf? That's where I'm working. That's what you want?
Yeah.
So I say to them, and this has always been my strategy, which has probably never helped me get a job, but it's probably fucked guys out of jobs because I got in their head, is I try to spend as much time in the room as possible. They know I'm a comic, so they want to know, so what have you been up to? And I'll immediately tell them the town I just came from, how tired I am. I'll tell them like the Starbucks thing that we just talked about, and they'll all be laughing. Meanwhile, if you're next in the audition, you're like, this guy's fucking killing. Like, I don't know any jokes. Jay Mohr just went in there, and it's like he's been in there a half hour. What they don't know is I haven't read the scene yet because I know it's going to be poor. So I realize I haven't been in there long enough, and I'm not leaving without putting my fucking flag down. It bothered me that I blew it so bad. So I look at them and I say, I just gave you guys the most pathetic Southern accent, and I don't know why, because my grandfather lives in Del Rio, Texas. My mother's from Odessa, Texas. My grandmother was Miss Cisco. I'm opening for a comic right now that's from North Carolina. My whole family's from Texas. I don't know what happened. Can I come back and do it again? And they look at me with this odd look of, no one's ever spoken to us like that before. But I wasn't leaving the field without taking the bat off my shoulder. And they say, sure. And I could tell they were kind of humoring me. And once I left, it was over. And I said, or is there anything else? I mean, and Cameron Crowe was there early.
He was in the room?
In my audition, the first time he was there. And that's unheard of. The director comes in like on the 5th or 6th try because he doesn't want his time wasted. And I said, look, it's your movie. It's a Cameron Crowe movie. If I'm the guy in the back holding a rock during a camping scene, I want in. Whatever it takes. Whatever I can do to just be photographed by you, I'll do it. And I'll do it well. But don't judge me on this horrible Southern accent I just did. I just sounded like somebody from Hee Haw. I'm sorry. And they laughed a little bit. And they said, have you read the part of The Babysitter? And I said, yeah, it's great. And I'm like, I have no idea what they're talking about. So they go, why don't you read those sides and come back in, and then you can read for The Babysitter. And it was played very well. I forget the actor's name. He's great. But if you remember, Renee Zellweger had a male nanny.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And the scene I auditioned for to play the nanny, he said, Tom Cruise is going in the house to make love to Renee Zellweger. And the babysitter goes, wait a minute. I want you to use this. And you think he's going to take out a condom. But instead, he takes out a cassette. Remember those? And it's John